Hello guys, it's me, TONIK TZW, here in the Tier 6 Premium British Destroyer, the Cossack. And as you can see from the start screen here, this is going to turn into a massive game, but it appears that one of the captains was a little bit salty because midway through the game, I got a message pop up on my screen that says, "You're reported for griefing." And I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just played the propellers off this thing. But we'll quickly run through the ship build and I'll just let you see it on the screen there. It's nothing special. One of the things to know about the Cossack is it does have a secondary gun, which is highly unusual for a destroyer. But we've got 3 double 120 mils there, and torpedo wise you've only got one rack of torpedoes, 4 of them. They've got a range of 10 k's at 66 knots, but you can single fire them, and I will employ both methods during this game. And as far as commander builds go, I'm running Reginald Tyrewhitt at 16.4 with Eric Bay at 16.4, and I think it's William Sims who is at 16.3, and it's pretty much a standard destroyer build on that one. But we're here on Islands of the Ice. It's the game mode I hate most, which is Epicenter. But you'll see that we have got 2 radar cruisers in division on our team, and the red team have no radar cruisers. And I quickly check my sonar range because there's a T61 out there, and we're going to get in and play the map. Now, the guy that reported me is the West Virginia in this game, and he sent me it. The message was in French, and I think it said that I was either griefing or harassing others. I haven't actually looked at which option it was on the screen, but he sent it to me after he himself was deleted. But he did get second place for the team, so he was obviously playing quite hard himself. There he is, Major Akbak, and yeah, I'm going to call the name out because I didn't think there was any reason for me to be reported in this game. I was sorely disappointed at how this played out. The Cossack is one of my favourite little boats. I do wish it had 2 sets of torpedoes. I think it would be much more potent if it did, but perhaps that's why it's only got the 1 set. Now you'll see that we also have another destroyer out on the right flank. That's a Fubuki, and you'll see me pinging the map here, and I'm telling those battleships that there is a destroyer pushing out to the flank. So if anything, what they want to do is not push forward because they're going to be running straight into a destroyer. The Fubuki is out there on the right flank, and I am the one that is having to come in and contest the cap. There's a set of torpedoes, and I think, is that the T61, because that's a set of 4. And I'm stopping and I'm thinking, and we're contested. There is obviously a destroyer here, and I'm kind of telling people that this is where he is. You'll see me do this in game all the time, and I'm going to basically put myself on the line here. And here we go. Now I can't get that Asasio kind of guns on because of the slow traverse on the turrets, but there's 2 battleships there, so I've got no option but to pop my smoke. Look, they're all queued up ready to shoot at me, but we get 5 cap resets off that 1 salvo, and then we're going to turn. The Asasio is still spotted, and I'm going to try and get some shots on again, but he disappears. We've got a hard push here. We've got the Sinop, we've got 2 Californias. I don't know what the last battleship is, but that is not looking good for me. But we have pushed the Asasio back off this centre cap, but he's obviously feeling brave with all that support behind him, and he's come back in to contest it. Now, I do say that there's no point in sitting inside a cap and contesting it if you're not spotting for the team. So I am going to pull out and try and do some spotting for the team. The T61 out there has got himself spotted. Now, I can't remember which ship is leading the charge, but he's going to disappear. The West Virginia is the ship that is there on about the 8 o'clock position of the epicenter map. So he should either support the first battleship, or he should realise that actually that's a dangerous place to be going, and perhaps you don't want to be going there. So I'm calling for fire on this Sinop. He's about to take a couple of torpedoes, but we don't get a flood. We do get an incapacitation. He's broadside to the ship that's right beside me, and he's broadside to that West Virginia. So if anything, the two of them should have a salvo on that guy and just be knocking him off the map. Somebody gets a good hit there on him, but there we go, we lose the guys now to the T-61. West Virginia needs to be rethinking his position at this moment in time, because our Adachi is there further back than some of our battleships. Now yes, he's got 10k range on his torpedoes too, but hiding there behind the battleships is not probably where he wants to be. So we're going to go guns on this Sinop. We get a fire on him, but he disappears and we are still spotted. So we've got our head on a swivel looking at who might be shooting at us next, but we drop detection and we're going to basically try and play this cap some more. The Asashio is still here. Looks like he's gone off the cap, and it's not looking favourable at the moment. I know that T-61 is out there, but given that the cap is no longer contested here in the centre, I want to try and take it and just get it ticking for blue team. Colorado there, we're going to back up, we're going to try and get some guns across to there. The West Virginia has slammed it into full reverse, but he is taking a lot of fire as we lose the New Mexico as well. So we're going to try and get some guns onto this Colorado, try and get a fire onto him, try and keep him spotted long enough that somebody can get some shots onto him, and we put the shots over there and the rear turret can still reach, but we are spotted. We get a single fire on him and that one is immediately damage controlled. We've got the centre cap, that's going to give us some points. We've got the two Californias pushing in here side by side. I think they are in division, and we're going to switch to single fire torpedoes. I'll fire that one a little bit early. We're looking at this one, but this guy is going to turn in towards us, so we decide to hold back and try and gauge where his turn is going to be. And we're looking, we go for a two spread, and then we look towards the Colorado. We know he's damage controlled, a fire, so we put the second set of two across there, and we're going to turn away. Now you'll notice that we do have still two radar cruisers in this game, and they would have been extremely helpful a little bit further forward, where we could have used that radar to get rid of that Asashio, but it wasn't to be, and that is incredibly frustrating and incredibly disappointing, because we're 5 ships down to 3 ships. We do control a cap. That California there has managed to avoid the torpedoes. We lose the Atlanta. We've still got the Belfast though, and those torpedoes are still running on that other BB, and this West Virginia is in trouble now because he's very low health. Are we going to land another torpedo? I think we might. Yes, there we go. We land another torpedo, no flood. We're going to have to push away from this cap because we've got 3 battleships turning in. The Asashio is after a kill. There we go. The West Virginia disappears, and it is shortly after he dies like that that I get the message going, "You're reported." So I'd love to know what he reported before, because after this match I sent him a screenshot. I said, if you're reporting me, he got second place. I said you might want to consider reporting everybody that finished below you. But there's the Asashio. I'm not sitting on my smoke screen. I'm dropping it and running and getting out of it, because that's how I play the British destroyers. We bait and switch. We drop the smoke, force them to drop their torpedoes, and then we get out of it. So we know we're safe from those torpedoes, but it is 2 plays 6. I haven't got a kill yet, and it's looking like defeat right now at this moment in time. We are 8 minutes into the game and we are 7 ships down, but we land a torpedo and a flood there on someone, and that is immediately damage controlled as well. It's the California, so he's not taking as much as a hit as he could because he's got that big torpedo damage reduction. And I'm going to turn away from these guys because they're going to be heading for this Belfast, and I want to catch them on a broadside. But there we go. California is 7.4 away. The destroyer is closer than that, so we're bringing the guns back around for that destroyer. I really wish that Belfast would light up his radar, because it is a very difficult position to be in at the moment. But there we go, we get the T-61 detected, and we haven't got a smoke screen available, so we're just going to have to go skiddy to the battleships who are going to be looking for me, and we're going to have to go guns on this guy and stay on guns. And as I said, I am sure that this game is lost, but that doesn't mean that I am not going to fight to the very end of my hit points. So here we go, he's backing up. I've already predicted that turn. My engine boost is running. Had I not had that, I think these torpedoes would have had me, but we get just enough speed to get past them. There's the Asashio. We're switching guns onto him as well. It's our first kill of the game on the T-61, but we land another torpedo on another flood on, I think it's the California. That one is immediately damage controlled as well. The Asashio disappears to the cruiser, and that means that I am out of range for detection. So with both the destroyers gone, I come up on mic and said, okay, it's playtime now. I'm going to try and get back in and get some torpedoes on these guys. If you can get some fires on them, then I think we can perhaps turn this one around. But red team have all three stages of the map, of the epicenter map now, and I am going to have to push back in, put myself in the way of danger to try and take one of these points back. Torpedoes are on a reasonable reload, but it's just incredibly slow when you're up against a team like this. We are playing, it's clutching at straws, thinking about how we can pull a victory back to this. But that California is burning. He's not going to damage control that one. It is ticking, and I'm watching my torpedo timer thinking, can we get a reload on this guy? Can we stay far enough away from this California? What are we going to do? Because if we can get rid of this guy, then we can push a little bit further in. But that Belfast is between a rock and a hard place. There are 4 battleships left in this game, and he has kept himself in that position behind that island for so long. He hasn't moved out of it. I don't really feel that he or the Atalanta were much support to me as a destroyer, and as I said, it was just incredibly disappointing. So here we are. We have 3.5 minutes to play on the game, and we are going to get 2 torpedoes and 2 floods onto that California. He's either let the fire burn out or he did damage control it once the Belfast disappeared. But we are pushing back in towards the epicenter. Now, they will be able to tell from which ring is contested in approximately where I am on the map. The direction that the torpedoes is coming from is going to tell them as well. So there we go. With 2 kills, breaking 109,000 damage, we pick up a Confederate. So we've already hit 6 ships for at least 20% of their total hit points. And the game is lost. The game is absolutely lost from this point, but that flood ticks through and brings us up a high caliber as we break 116,000 damage. And this is where I make a mistake, because I put my torpedoes onto that California, and I kind of wish I hadn't then. I wish I'd played a little bit better for position here, because believe it or not, I've had a look at the damage record for the Cossack, and we're gonna push for damage on this one, because there's not a lot else that we can do. But we go to push round behind these islands. They know I'm behind an island because they're not spotted. The fact that I'm on the central section of the epicenter tells them exactly where I am now. I am playing for survival. It's now a matter of, can we play this game with the time remaining and get ourselves a win? It is an unhealthy lead that red team have had. I don't know why our team folded so quickly, but the two battleships pushing out on a flank at the start was certainly not a help when I was telling them that the destroyer was out there. So we're going to risk it for the biscuit. We're going to put some shells out onto that California. He is going to have HE loaded, so he's got common sense on his side. And there we go, there's 2 turrets, then 4 turrets. We're going to keep firing. We slam the engines in reverse, expecting him to be leading us, but we miss a salvo. We're backing up. Can we get a fire on him? We've got time for, I think, 1 more salvo, and then we're going to have to dip out. And there we go, we dip out. He is no longer spotted. They're running in, but we do get a fire, and that is going to keep ticking and take us through 150,000 damage. Here comes the West Virginia. The last battleship is out there too, and I'm going to spunk all my torpedoes towards that West Virginia because I don't think there's enough time left to get torpedoes at both those battleships. We're going to switch fire back onto that California. We really are putting ourselves in the way of danger because 3 battleships, 3 salvos, but there we go. They're looking back across the other way. We're going to go onto that California. Can we get the hits on that we need? Yes, we can. And he goes for a liquidator. 151,000 damage. We take 2, 3, 4 torpedo hits, 4 floods, 188,900 damage. The clock runs out on us for points. We did have some time to play. Believe it or not, that is barely 800 points below the damage record for the Cossack, and as we switched across the results screen, it is the most painful. We beat every single member of red team on base XP. That would have been a 3600 plus base XP game or more, and potentially the damage record and the base XP record had we had the last minute in that game. But it sucks to be me. I hope you've enjoyed that one. If you think that I was worth reporting on that one, let me know in the comments. Don't forget, smash the like button. And if you haven't already done so, please do consider smashing that subscribe button as well. Until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.